HII delivers the most powerful naval ships ever built. That same innovation and dedication is applied to executing missions in complex and contested environments. We are leading the next evolution of national defense, the data evolution. That means anticipating emerging threats with C5ISR capabilities that enable a deep understanding of the environment across a wide range of assets. And with AI and big data platform capabilities that support threat analysis and cyber operations at an unprecedented data scale. Preparing warfighters for virtually every conceivable situation they may face with live, virtual, constructive, synthetic training environments critical to the all-domain order of battle. Making vast expanses of the Earth accessible for defense, research, and commerce, on land, under the seas, in the air, and in space. With world-leading autonomy and the largest family of UUVs in every class, making transoceanic missions possible. Ensuring the world's most capable and resilient platforms are always at the ready. On the sea, under the sea, and ashore. Maintaining a safe, secure, and effective strategic weapons stockpile and executing complex environmental remediation through a legacy of disciplined nuclear operations supporting the Department of Energy's mission priorities. We do all of this with a talented, diverse, and innovative team that is driven to solve our customers' most complex challenges. HII, solving our nation's critical security needs by delivering the hard stuff done right around the globe.
Well, hello there. There is no way you could look at that video and not get excited and want to be a part of this. I'm John Young, your host of Finding Your Purpose with HII, and this is the second episode in 2024 for us, and we are accelerating your post-military career. And one of the things I'm excited about today is our platform has just flat out exploded. We are not just on LinkedIn Live anymore. We are live on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We're on X, and we're on YouTube. So regardless of the platform you're tuning into us on today, I want you to like, share, comment, follow us. This is a good thing for us to know. If you are listening to this program, I want you to put in the comment section your name and where you're listening from and who you're associated with. If you are looking for a position with us, we have recruiters that are looking for you. So put a little bit about yourself, any questions you got about our company as we go along this journey together today, and step in, strap in, and be excited about the ride we're about to take you on, because we have a panel that's going to blow your mind today. First off, I got to tell you, we've got Rico Munoz, and he is back, and his beard is back. I just got to say that because he had gone kind of barefaced it for a minute, but Rico Suave is back in the building. I'm also excited about Nick Turner, aka Duber. This man is one of my favorites because I have some stories to tell you about him. And I know that although he'll have the opportunity to introduce himself, he has this thing about humility, and I have a big mouth. So I will say, he flew the president. Yes, he flew the president. Don't let him leave that out. Daryl, he has been behind the scenes, and I have been begging him to step from behind the curtain and let us see this beautiful mind of his. So you all are going to meet Daryl Williams today, who's actually one of the people that birthed this platform and recruited me in. And now I have recruited him to come from behind the curtain. And so you'll get a chance to meet him live and in living color and see that beautiful mind. And also, we have a celebrity with us, Richard Comets of ACP, American Corporate Partners. He will also try to water down his status, but he also is a big deal. So with that being said, I'm going to pause and we'll kick it off with Rico. Introduce yourself, Rico.
No, thanks for the introduction, John. You know, coming from the Army and my background from HR and recruiting and then military intelligence. I've done it all, but you know, it reminds me of a joke because I know we got a Air Force guy, you yourself, John, Air Force guy. We got a Marine Corps, and then we also have another couple Army guys on the show with us today. But you know, we all use stars for something, right? In the military, I think the Army and the Marines we're usually sleeping under them. The Navy, we're navigating by the stars, and then the Air Force guys, they're choosing their hotels by how many stars they got. So, you know, just wanted to start off with a quick joke there. But I'm also the SkillBridge lead for HII Mission Technologies now. After I got out of the military, after 22 years of service, I transitioned over back to recruiting because I felt this was my calling. And I feel like now it's being part of this team for almost 5 years now. I've grown so much to helping out my transitioning fellow service members. And if you guys haven't grasped the theme of what we're talking about today, it's all about veterans. It's all about hiring military and transitioning personnel and how you can make that transition successful. And one of the person that I'd like to introduce next has made a successful transition onto our team. He flew the president at one time, and he's an awesome helicopter pilot, but now he's part of our team as one of our program managers. So he's going to tell us a little bit about himself. Nick Turner, call sign Duber. Introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, thanks, gents. Hey, so I got to spend about 20 years in the finest fighting force in the planet, the United States Marine Corps. These guys stole a little bit of my thunder, but I got to fly helicopters for the most part as a CH-53 helicopter pilot. I was selected to go fly the president for a few years and ended up my career back flying for a while, but then as a division air officer working on a two-star general officer staff. I retired in 2021, brought my family back to the Midwest, back to Iowa, and was blessed to have the opportunity to work for just a beast of a company, HII. And been doing the program manager role now for about a year and a half. I've got about 70 employees on the team, and we are the National Guard's marquee synthetic training environment provider. So we have a professionalized white force and a bunch of technical experts that conduct simulated training to the warfighter. And we love to support our military any way we can. Being a military veteran is something that's obviously near and dear to my heart, especially trying to help out transitioning veterans. So it's something I'm very passionate about. Daryl, over to you.
Looks like you're on mute, Daryl.
There you go.
Oh, there he came off.
There we go.
All right. Rookie move, right? This is what happens when you come out from behind the scenes. Thanks, John. No, couldn't be more ecstatic to be here. John, thanks for inviting me, encouraging me, influencing me to come from behind the curtain out front here. But I've been with the company now about 18 months, retired out in 2017, spent about 13 years in Army Recruiting Command. When it came out, worked for 2 companies prior to this, and I'm proud to say that I have found a home here with Mission Technologies and HII. You know, for me, it's extremely personal having a son who's currently serving on active duty as well as an intel analyst. And, you know, a lot of what we do here supports not only his operations, but operations across all branches of service. So I'm happy to be here. I'm ecstatic to have this conversation, all because we're going to introduce Rich next. Rich and I have known each other for a couple years. ACP is fantastic. I'm going to let him tell you a little bit more about it. Rich?
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me. I guess I'm one of the external people from on the panel, but really appreciate that you make a spot for me. So I'm Rich Comets. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of American Corporate Partners. I am also an Army vet. I was in the Army for 23 years. Spent time in a few different places. Spent a lot of time at the end of my career at West Point teaching. Transitioned and retired in 2019. Went into higher ed for a while, and I've been here at American Corporate Partners for about 2 years now. I'm excited to tell you a little bit more about American Corporate Partners, but really love the mission of supporting transitioning service members and active duty spouses as they go through their transition, because I know for me it was not an easy situation, and there's a lot of anxiety and unknowns, and having a mentor to help you through that is definitely gives you one step up. So I'm excited to tell you a little more about ACP.
All right, and we're excited to hear more about ACP. Before we get into that, though, I want to just tell our listening audience some of the things that we are so excited about when it comes to Mission Technologies. First off, we are exploding in our success. We just won a recompete. We just were awarded a $197 million 5-year recompete contract. I did not stutter. I meant every letter. 197 million. Okay. And one of the things I'm excited about is that this is just one of the many things that we're doing here at HII in Mission Technology specifically, that goes to show that this company is the place to be. Now, I want to drag Daryl once again from behind the curtain to tell us a little bit about this recompete award that we just got.
Yeah, absolutely, John. So we take a look at this recompete. So this was a task order to conduct research and development for the Joint Synthetic Training Environment. I know Duber probably has a lot of insight there as well. But this is a big deal because the battlefield itself is extremely complex. And we know that it's getting tougher and more sophisticated every single day. And here we are, ingrained with a lot of responsibility coming from Department of Defense to create real world scenarios to best train our forces across the battlefield. So taking a look at this, the one thing that I really want to throw out there is HII is the largest provider of secure, realistic network LVC training environments that are provided to the DoD. So keep that in mind. Duber, I don't know, you're behind the scenes there specifically with synthetic training. Any additional insight from you as well?
Well, so here's what I would tell you. Live virtual constructive is growing at an exponential rate. Bringing in new technologies, looking at augmented reality, AI, the whole 9 yards. The synthetic training environment ceiling continues to go up and up and up. And I can tell you from my perspective, I was struggling a little bit with trying to figure out what I was going to do when I got out of the Marine Corps, and having an opportunity to still provide and serve and keep the fighting forces tools sharp is a great way to stay involved. And still, when you were wearing the uniform, you were the pointy edge of the sword, the pointy edge of the spear. And it's a little bit difficult sometimes to take that, all that tactical prowess and put it on a shelf and be okay with that. Working with HII has been a great way for me, at least, to give back and continue to give back and work with the guys that I love.
Well, that's really awesome. And one of the things that HII Mission Technologies has done, and I'm really excited about this, is that sometimes when companies begin to achieve success, they neglect the fact that there are certain things that you can do and you're stronger together when you partner with strategic partners. And HII has a tremendous new strategic partnership with American corporate partners. And so I've been really chomping at the bit to hear more details about this mentorship program. And so, Mr. Richard Komitz, I want to get you to explain to our audience exactly what is ACP and who do you serve?
Yeah, thanks. So American Corporate Partners is a national nonprofit, and what we do is help transitioning service members, veterans, and active duty spouses prepare for meaningful careers after the military. As Duber mentioned, we all kind of want to find that next mission that we're passionate about and continue to serve in some way. And we help people do that through mentorship. So the idea here is that we talk with a protege, which could be a veteran or active duty spouse, and ask them what they're looking to do. If they know, if they don't know, that's fine too. We can find someone for them to help them figure that out. But if they know what they want to do, and they want to say be in the defense technology industry or something like that, we find them a mentor that's in that industry. So that mentor can kind of talk them through what it takes to be in that industry, what it's like to be in that industry, what type of things from their military experience would be helpful for them to capitalize on and use in their resume for applying for a job, what type of jobs to apply for, all that stuff that you need when you're transitioning, because you have, in a lot of cases, no idea about how to read a job description and what your resume should look like. And so these people are volunteering their time to help out. And so we help post 9/11 veterans and then active duty spouses. So anyone that served after 9/11 and anybody that's an active duty spouse. And it really is a great program in that, we're hearing from people on a daily basis that having a mentor has really helped them tremendously, change their life, got them really set for, a life after the military that they can be passionate about.
Well, I'll tell you, Mr. Commons, that's some exciting stuff, and we are going to make sure that everyone knows how to connect, whether they want to be a mentor or they are looking to be mentored. We've got some information that we're going to pass out and get you to explain to us down the road. But that is a great segue when you describe this scenario, because I've got a nice backstory about Duber. And just so you know, for those of you who may not be aware, in the military, if you're not one of us wily old veterans, we have these call signs for various reasons. And Nick Turner's call sign is Duber. And I've heard the backstory, and it's funnier than he will let on. But he earned that title. But one of the things that really stood out to me when I began recruiting for Duber, he took over as a program manager, and he had quite a few positions. And the way he came in and approached each position, and even at the urgency of the need to get the position filled right away to satisfy customer contract requirements, he placed a greater emphasis on the family and the needs that the people that we were hiring than over the needs of the business. He put people as the priority, and that really struck me, because when you have someone that understands, especially when you think about in the Marines and how he flew the CH-53 helicopter, he flew Marine One. He's had some prestigious positions, and he has every right to be arrogant, yet he found a way to be humble and care about people's personal needs. Now, I personally attribute that to Mrs. Turner, because Mrs. Turner, I know you're watching, and when he comes home, you make him take out the garbage, regardless of whether or not he's been flying the president around. You take out the garbage, Duber. I'm sure something like that happens, Miss Turner. Y'all can talk about that after he gets home tonight. But with that being said, I have targeted Duber to be a mentor because he basically mentored me when I got here. I was without a call sign, and I stepped into a room of people I had no idea who they were and started begging for a call sign, and he gave me a shot and gave me the call sign Clutch, to which I am known for today. So, Duber, I want to transition this over to you because you transitioned out of the military in 2021. Tell us a little bit about some of your challenges transitioning out and how you have benefited from a program like this, or how you be able to be an asset to a program like this.
Absolutely. In the military, we're taught about servant leadership. Everybody's had good leaders. Everybody's had bad leaders. I was very fortunate to have consecutive great leadership over the top of me. And I had one of my mentors, Scott Minaldi, told me, you should always pay attention to the good leaders, but pay attention to the bad leaders as well, because you want to write down and remember those things that were successful, but also remember those things that the other guy misstepped on. Since transitioning to HII, I had 4 jobs in under my first year from getting out of the Marine Corps. So I knew my position was a little bit specific because we were building a house that was taking all of my time and energy. But I know my wife and I were both extremely stressed about good schooling, a happy place to lay our head at night. Are we able to pay the bills? Can we sustain the quality of living that we want to try to attain after getting out of the military? So I took that with me as when I took the program manager role, as that's huge. When I was in uniform, multiple people that I served with, parallel, above, below, but being a servant leader was something that my boss here at HII has stressed. And I try to carry that on here and hire people that I want to work with that are like-minded and have a love for not only our country, but, the military, and a high level of respect for creating a quality product for your customer on the government side, being military contractors. Clutch and I worked very closely to hire the right people. And it was very important to me to be able to provide the flexibility for somebody who was coming from all the way from New Mexico, from Virginia, from California, which I hired people. We're in the Midwest in Iowa. You don't pack up your family overnight and move everything, and that there is stress involved, and there is significant amounts of strain on the relationship and the family. The last thing I want is for that new employee to come here and not have his mind right, or his or her mind right. So we tried to create enough space and the relationship that we have with the government to make sure that those guys' family is taken care of, give them the space and the ability to work through those problems. And then when you're ready to rock and roll, we're ready to have you on the team. So given John Young the call sign Clutch, not everybody gets a good call sign. A lot of times in the military, you get a call sign from screwing up. Brother, you got a good call sign, but you earned it because you helped me. You helped me take care of a massive manning deficit in a very short amount of time, and that was you helped me.
All right, and I'm honored and humbled. It's been great working with Duber. And now one of the things that, now having heard that story, Mr. Comets, can you see the transitions that he described? He had 4 jobs within the first year of transitioning out. You can see how sometimes when we're transitioning out of the military and to embrace corporate America, we're like deer in the headlights, and half the time we don't know if we're coming or going. So can you help put that in perspective, how someone in Duber's perspective can benefit from ACP? And then I want you to go in and expound upon how they can go about obtaining a mentor, or people that are in a position like Duber that may want to become a mentor. No pun intended, but I did just knock on wood.
Yeah, no, that's great. And if you listen to Duber a little bit, you heard a lot of the same things that most people go through. And he also brought up some great things that, for those of you out there that are looking for employment, that are in the position of looking for your next job, you want to look for some organization that shares the values that you have, that has the same type of people that you are used to being around. And I'd like to say that think that military people are very good employees as well. And so, what we want to do with our mentors as we pair them up with our proteges is get it so that they don't have to transition 4 times like Duber did. Now, everybody has different situations, but ideally, you want to be able to take the time to kind of work it out with the mentor to help you get to the right job at the right level. And so you're happy, right? And so what happens sometimes when people are getting out of the military, they kind of panic. They don't take care of themselves. And then at the last minute, they're like, I got to get a job. And they just take whatever job they can get. And they don't do the research to understand, is this the right fit or the right culture? Or am I going to do I want to be in the office, or do I want to be outside, or whatever the case may be? And so again, when we pair you up with a mentor, those are the type of conversations that you have. And so they kind of help you try to work through that stuff. And then, and other things that Duber mentioned too, is this, making sure you're taking care of your family and their needs, right? And most of the mentors are usually kind of in the same walk of life as you. My wife's a mentor, and she talks to military spouses oftentimes, and some of their conversation talks about being a woman in corporate America and a mother, right? And so there's a lot of commonalities that we kind of take into account when we pair people with mentors, and those go that extra mile to help people, again, transition in a little bit less stressful environment, but in the right place at the right time, in the right locations, in the right job. And so they're happier, and it usually translates a lot better that way. So if you're out there and you want to mentor with ACP, and you haven't been, you've, as long as you've been serving since 9/11, or if you're a spouse, if you're an active duty spouse, you could sign up at acp-usa.org. If you're out there at HII, and Duber, I know, is gonna take this down. If you're out there and you want to be a mentor, there he is. Get his pen out. I like to see that. So it's scrolling at the bottom actually right now, www.acp-usa.org/mentor, and the HII employees have a code HII-ACP, and so we track the HII employees, and we report back the success and the praises that we have for the mentorships that are going on. Matter of fact, we've only had the relationship for less than a year with HII, and there's already 59 people mentoring, which is huge, because if you think about it, 59 is not just a number, it's 59 individuals with probably family, right? So you're talking now hundreds of people that you're affecting by spending, for mentors, well, all we ask is that you spend about an hour a month of your time talking with your protege. And that type of stuff goes a long way to help people get where they need to go. So I'll stop there. I can talk forever, but Clutch, back to you if you have any additional questions or points you want me to.
No, that's great. That's great. That's great. We could probably. Looks like I've got a little bit of feedback. Daryl, can you tell us your mentee testimony?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, John. So when I retired out, or in the process of retiring out in 2016, I had no idea really what I was doing. After 20 years of spending on active duty, I thought it would be an easy process. Let me tell you, it's hard. It's the hardest thing I ever did in 20 plus years. And that's after multiple deployments and spending 13 years in Army Recruiting Command working, 14, 15-hour days. It's difficult because we have no idea what lies on the other side of the fence. So I actually opted in to be a protege for ACP back in 2016. And I'll share my experience, which was 100% enlightening. The mentor that I was partnered up with, sat down, talked to me about exactly what it is that I wanted to do. How did my experience, 20 years of it, translate into the civilian sector? And where did I need to close some of those gaps? What he did was he helped me close gaps in specifically networking, because I had no idea. On big juggernaut platforms like LinkedIn, it's critical. It's critical. All 3 jobs that I've had since I retired out in 2017 wasn't because I applied. It was because I knew somebody who worked there, or I networked my way in. So it was extremely important to understand the benefits of it. My resume, how did I take it from, what it said and how it was wrote by an organization whenever I was transitioning, and converted over into civilian terms. So hiring managers and recruiters understood exactly what I did and how my experience would be an asset to the organization. The one thing we have to always remember is it's not always about us. It's how we're going to impact the organization. That's what hiring managers want to know, because they need to meet their KPIs, and how can we be a force multiplier. So that was extremely critical for me, because I didn't know that stuff. But they stood with me for about 12 months. We talked once a month for about an hour, and we talked about everything under the sun, from the transitioning process to how my family was transitioning, because it's a process for your spouse. It's a process for your kids. It impacts the whole family. And, for me, I'm forever grateful to ACP because of the assistance that they provided.
And who wouldn't be? I mean, it sounds like a great partnership that's budding here between HII, Mission Technologies, and ACP. Now, I'd like to bring you into the conversation, Rico, because SkillBridge is a phenomenal program. And I'm wondering, would you suggest someone that's interested in SkillBridge use ACP for their mentorship programs as well?
Most definitely. And I think, one thing for those who aren't aware of what the SkillBridge program is, it's available for active duty personnel transition out of the military during their last 180 days of service. HII became a DoD SkillBridge partner approved about 3 years ago. We're on our 4th year now, and we've been running this I've been running this program for the Mission Technology Division, and it's expanding out to the rest of the divisions within HII as well now. So we're almost to the point where the entire HII is SkillBridge approved, and we have internships available for multiple places, multiple locations, multiple job types. But what I always recommend is just try to find the jobs that you're trying to get into on our site that may not be SkillBridge identified already as a SkillBridge internship, but it's something that you can that you're already qualified to do. And as you transition out of the military, you're going to want something that you can fall right into, that you're qualified to do, that you have the experience in doing, that you have the education and background on. If you apply for that job and you get a call back from a recruiter saying, "Hey, we want you on the team," then at that point you could just mention, say, I'm not available for immediate hire, but would your team be willing to bring me on as a SkillBridge intern? And if they say yes, we'd love to do that with you, then at that point you've got a company or one of our hiring teams that's willing to bring you onto the team. We can flip this job into a SkillBridge internship for you. And if you sign up with ACP at that point and you say, "Hey, I got HII that's interested in me, do you have any mentors at HII that can help guide me through this process, or of getting into SkillBridge? They're going to give you all the insights and tricks. They're going to connect you directly with the SkillBridge lead, or they're going to tell you how they're going to help you through that whole transition process and getting onto the team. So I think linking up with ACP and discussing SkillBridge, and then all of those discussions that you'll have in turn about transitioning would be a huge blessing for the SkillBridge to get into a SkillBridge internship. And I'm sure Rich can expand on that for us, on how SkillBridge can really align with the mentorship program.
Before we do that, let me toss it to you, Duber. I know that you had the benefit of actually hiring some SkillBridge.
That's right. Yep.
So talk with us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so let me back up even a touch further. So when I was getting out of the Marine Corps, I had a couple of my coworkers that were doing SkillBridge or trying to get SkillBridge, and it was fantastic. I wanted to do it, but the timing did not work out for me. And I can tell you that if I would have probably piped into having somebody like Rico and Rich, if you will, hold the hand and guide and mentor, it might have worked out for a guy like me. But I had a very low density, high demand job posting that we had been trying to fill for a year. And through a roundabout way, we had gotten word of a transitioning military Air Force senior enlisted who had experience in exactly what I needed. Rico was an absolute heat-seeking missile precision weapon on helping this guy get set up and get him from friggin' Ohio to Iowa, which ain't too terribly far, but it was still a heck of a jaunt for him and his family. And we made it work. We brought this cat on for 6 months, and he just was phenomenal. And the great thing is, once he was done with his SkillBridge, we had a soft landing place for him right here on my team. And it was fantastic. And I've looked into trying to do some more SkillBridge opportunities as the contract has changed. But Clutch, you did such a good job filling out everything. I haven't had any open positions in like 6 months. So,
great problem.
But from my perspective, singing Rico's praises, having somebody who is as passionate as he was about, he was emailing me and calling me more times a day than my wife, for crying out loud. But it was that kind of dedication that brought in such a perfect person for me. And I don't know what else I can do to sell the SkillBridge for HII, but you got to get on that train.
Yeah. Well, I will say that this is the second time that Miss Turner has come up. So another shout out to Miss Turner. Let me get over to you.
Yeah, she deserves it.
Because I want to know, first off, who's eligible to become a mentor, and how does one become a mentor? And I won't knock on wood anymore, because everyone in the listening audience knows that I'm talking about people like Duber at this point.
Well, yeah. Well, first, I just want to piggyback on both what Duber and Rico has been talking about, in that when people are transitioning, there's a lot of different organizations out there that can help you in different ways. And there's nothing wrong with compounding them to get the best effect. And so, yeah, if you have the opportunity for a SkillBridge, go for it. But why not have a mentor at the same time where you can talk to them about what you're learning and discuss, hey, we did this today. I'm not sure if I like this, but I heard about this. Can we talk? Maybe talk about this other aspect of the company. I might be more interested. Or is it always normal for someone to talk to their boss like this, or whatever the case may be, right? So all these things that you're learning during your SkillBridge, you can bounce that off a mentor and prepare yourself for the next step, which is actually getting that job, right? So again, use as many of these organizations as possible, but definitely a mentor is going to help you along the way. So as far as being a mentor, what we're looking for is someone that's been out there. If you've been in the military and you're now at HII, if you've been there for about 2 years in your job, you probably have learned enough to be a mentor. if you have no military experience or this is, your first job, we're looking for maybe about 4 or 5 years worth of experience so that you can kind of talk about what you're doing. But really, there's oftentimes people's apprehension about joining up is like, well, I don't know if I can really be a mentor. And really, it's they want to know what it's like being in the civilian world, what your experiences are. You don't have to be in the military to be a mentor, right? Because you have plenty of great opportunities that you've learned along the way that you can share with someone that's transitioning. So as far as mentors, we'll take anybody, have them apply, and then we'll talk it through with them. When they apply, someone from our team is going to talk to them, kind of go through the program a little bit, and then find out what their background is and what they think they can help mentor in. And then from there, we'll figure out like what the best situation is. We have people leaving the military, as most people know, after one term of enlistment and then retiring 20 plus years. So we need mentors in that whole spectrum so that we can really find the right person for each of our proteges as they're coming out. So we're happy to take mentors at all different levels in the company and all different job areas to kind of round that out so that we have a good mentor pool for when people are coming out. So as we mentioned, it's now scrolling at the bottom. If you want to be a mentor, it's acp-usa.org/mentor, and the code is HII-ACP. But if you're out there listening and you're a protege and you don't have a mentor, or excuse me, you're a veteran, served after 9/11, if you are a reservist or National Guardsman, you can also be a part of our program. And again, active duty spouse. You could sign up at acp-usa.org and you can get paired up with a mentor. And I'll tell you, I got a mentor when I took this job, right? Because you always, if you think about your life, you think about, critical times in your life, you always had someone that you looked up to, whether it be a parent or a coach or a teacher or a superior in the job field that you're in. So this mentorship just makes sense, and you definitely can learn something from someone else, and it'll help you along the way and make you a better person and better leader. So did I answer your question, John?
That's awesome. And I will tell you, Rich, I'm 5'4". I look up to everybody. Daryl, I think probably the greatest way to wrap this up is you are someone that I want to bring from behind the curtain one last time, because you've actually been there, done that. You've been a mentor. Can you explain how your experience has been mentoring for ACP and, what someone would need to do to just find a mentor?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, John. For me, the experience has been, exhilarating. All that pain that I talked about before, the challenges that, I had whenever I transitioned, this allowed me the opportunity to pay it forward, to take everything that I learned that I was doing wrong and put somebody on the right track so that they can land successfully. So it's been extremely critical. Once again, I spend about an hour a month with my protege. And like I said, we talk about everything underneath the sun. And as coming from a senior leadership position in the military, it provides me the opportunity to continue to teach, coach, mentor, and train. And it really, I'm not saying it puts the uniform back on, but it makes me feel like I'm still continuing to serve, but just in a different capacity. So once again, I encourage everybody, if you're listening and you're here with HII, sign up to become a mentor. Give back, take your experience and help somebody utilize it to catapult them to exactly where they want to land. It's going to make you better as an individual, and it's going to make them better as well. And if you're not interested, as a protege, to reach out to ACP, find another mentor, whether that's inside of your family, whether that's somebody who's already transitioned. Maybe they're at the current company that you're currently working at. Regardless of where you are in your career, the one key word I would tell everybody is humility. Have a little bit of humility and understand that we don't know it all, regardless of the position that we sit in, the role that we're filling. We could always utilize a mentor to make us better. John?
And that's a great summary. And I just want to thank our guest for attending and dropping in your words of wisdom and insight. Daryl ended with the importance of humility. I think everyone seems to have a humbling effect when you think about family and what's most important to us. Again, you know, people like Duber can fly the president and then go home and have to take out the trash. Shout out to Miss Turner. We stay humble because there are people in our lives that keep us grounded, so we don't always believe our own press. So it helps to have people that love you enough to say, hey, you're not that big of a deal. Kind of calm down and eat your Wheaties. So thank you guys for attending. You all have been inspirational to me in more ways than you know. And I'm really looking forward to getting to know you even better, Rich. Again, I want to thank our guests for attending.
It's my pleasure being here. Thanks.
Take it easy. All right. All right. So now we're at the part where it's about to get a little more heated because we're about to talk about some hot stuff, as in hot jobs. Now, for those of you who are in our listening audience, regardless of what platform you're listening on, you may want to know how to become a part of this great company. I want you to make sure that you pay close attention to not only the jobs that we're about to list now, but I want to challenge you, go to your phone and text HII to the number 89743. 89743. Just text HII to that number, 89743. And it will help you get on our talent network so you can see everything that we're recruiting for. But meanwhile, like, share, comment, and follow us, regardless of what platform you're listening on. Now, let's talk about what's hot. We'll start with you, Rico. What do we got going on?
All right. So for my first hot job, I actually have a facilities and security logistics manager out at Fort Meade, Maryland. This one is requiring a TSSCI clearance with a CI poly. If you have at least a TSSCI, we can work on getting you that CI poly, but they're looking for somebody with logistics management experience and has also some facility/security manager experience as well. So familiar with this, familiar with SCIF access and control, access control, those type of things, shipping and receiving classified materials. That's the type of job this is. And then for the next role, I actually have a risk management technical writer. So risk management falls into the category of identity management. They're looking for somebody that has kind of like a CI background or human background that has taken some of these JACITA courses on the high side that require a CI. This position also requires a CI poly. It's in the same area, Fort Meade, Annapolis Junction. And for both of those, the salaries are going to be well over 130, around that range right there. So if you're interested in applying and you have that kind of background, feel free to reach out to me directly, or you can apply online, text HII to 89743, and you get the link to our career site and find out more.
All right. Over to you, Daryl.
All right. Thanks, John. So, Rico, not to blow you out of the water here, but the two positions I got, location does matter. So the first one, sunny San Diego, California, looking for a marine electrician, rec numbers 17214. Looking for somebody to work directly with our military customer to install, repair, and maintain electrical systems. Looking for somebody that has about 6 years of experience, and you have to have an active secret clearance. Once again, if that's a job that you're interested in, just go to the website. Guess it would be here. Go to the website, jobs.hii-tsd.com. Put in that rec number 17214. Next job that I have here, it gets even better. So if you thought San Diego was hot, we can just go straight to Honolulu, Hawaii. So it's a systems engineer 2, rec number 1777. Experience with electronic components, test equipment, and fiber optics. The key part here, and I wish I had the experience because relocation is authorized. I'm in Pittsburgh. I want to get to somewhere warm. Unfortunately, I don't have that experience. But we're actively interviewing, taking candidates for about the next 2 months. And you got to have an active TSSCI in order to be qualified to apply. Once again, hit that website above my head. If not, ping me on LinkedIn. Let's chat about them. Definitely would love to get you into an interview if you are qualified. That's all I got, John. Back to you, bud.
All right. All right. Well, there you have it. Mission Technologies our capabilities, we are one of the companies that you want to be a part of. So I want to leave you with these details. We are the largest data platform provider for the U.S. Army. We're the largest producer of unmanned underwater vehicles. We're the leading provider of LVC, live virtual construction training for the U.S. military. We have over 7,000 employees and we're growing. We're in 40 locations across 11 countries. And right now we have over 600 jobs posted on our career site right now. So I want you to know that if you're looking for a place to be, a company that you can thrive in and grow in and work with somebody like me. Yes, me. You can do that. So once again, you can go to that link above my big head, or you can text HII to the number 89743 and become a part of our talent network. And in the meantime, for those of you who don't know, this is how we end the show. Some of you think it's a pin. That just means you haven't watched before. This is not a pin. This is my microphone, and this is when I drop it.